Um, who knows if more people will show up? If not, I'm all yours, you two. Um, so anything on your mind today that I can address?
Well, for me, just I just have that fear of, reaching out, to like, I know that you said marketing is not your strength, but submitting to agents on the West Coast has been a bit of a trouble for me because I know I specialize a lot in character voices and I don't want to lie and say, I'm not based in LA. I think I don't want to name who, but the casting director said, when you submit to LA agents, don't tell them you're not based in LA. But I just don't like to lie.
Yeah. I don't um I think I wouldn't lie if they asked,
Yeah.
but I wouldn't volunteer the information either, and I don't necessarily think that that's a lie. I mean, we could argue the moral ambiguity of that, you know,
Yeah.
um because there are certainly people who think, and as do I, that in certain circumstances, omission is a lie, is sort of a unique kind of lie, right? But
Yeah.
I don't necessarily. I would say it's not something I would necessarily volunteer, but if I was asked, I would tell the truth. But I would also say, under the right circumstances, I'm willing to go to LA for sessions
Yeah.
if that's true. And I think that's really what matters. I mean, I just from my own experience with my own agents, um, I tell them, on certain auditions that come in that say, you know, must record in Los Angeles, if it looks like something that it's worth it to me,
Hmm.
and there are all kinds of things that make something worth it,
Hmm.
I simply tell them I will come to LA if I am booked on this. I'll do it. And
Yeah.
so then I don't even have to name to the casting director that I'm in Nashville because I'll come to LA. And it doesn't, it all that matters is that I show up for the session on time.
Yeah. Because 2 years ago, I did submit to Atlas, and
Hmm.
Heather, emailed me back saying, where are you based? And I said, I'm based in Dallas. And she said, we can't take you at this time. And then, I start seeing, people from Austin and Minnesota and Michigan are saying, hey, I signed with Atlas. And I'm like, did I do something wrong?
Well, you never know what their particular area of expertise is because they will sign people for commercial, for promo, who uh, who are not based in Los Angeles because those specific genres of voiceover are not central to Los
Yeah.
Angeles. So that, um, so every person's situation is different, and you also don't know, the circumstances under which that person was signed. Did they have a hole in their roster for that particular type of voice or that particular age group or that particular demographic, whatever it might be, right? And so that's why we can't ever compare our circumstance to someone else's because
Hmm.
everyone is as unique as we are with different talents and different areas of focus,
Yeah.
right? And so, but that I would say that it's, if I were you, I would do a bit more sleuthing, right? I would see what other agencies there are that may not be specific to Los Angeles or New York and find out if they're dealing in the realm of animation and seek them out. There are it's like I know people who are doing animation who don't have an LA agent, right? But they
Yeah.
have been determined to find out what is going on either in their area or they have sought out production companies that do animation and they've sought them out directly right from where they are. And that I feel like, we can't I do think it's a myth, Mary, that we must have representation in Los Angeles or New York to work and to have a viable career and to do the kinds of things that we want to do. It's really not true anymore. You know, Atlas, DPN, CESD, they are so they're so specific.
Mhm.
They're a particular. It's like I don't. I, they are a particular level, of representation. Um, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are for everyone, right? It may
Yeah.
not be the thing that that every last voice actor needs to aspire to have a really viable career. It's almost like you have to think of LA and New York as being, particularly when it comes to video games, even more so animation. They are a local agency. They are local to LA. That's what they
Mhm.
are. And so that's not a reflection on your talent, on what's available to you out there, right? It's just that it's a particular thing, and I think we hold these agencies up so high on a pedestal and think that we can only have viable careers if we are signed with them. But the truth is, ask anybody who has signed, who's had this idea that, oh, once I get signed with Atlas or once I get signed with DPN, my career is going to take off. It's rarely the case. It's a sludge. It's
Mhm.
like join the ranks of the hundreds of people who are now auditioning on these things that you wanted to get your hands on. And
Yeah.
so so I just want to disavow you of this idea that is the thing that that pursuit of the agent is the thing. It's actually pursuit of the work, right? It's pursuit of the people who are producing the work. That is, in a certain sense, that's a different and sometimes harder row to hoe,
Mhm.
only because it requires that you do all this legwork in finding out who these production company people are and what they do and the kinds of animated projects that they do, right? But that is the life of a voiceover entrepreneur, if you will, right?
Yeah, no, I've
Right?
always known that. It's just that it's also about, what the wording to use when reaching out, because I've taken so many marketing courses,
Hmm.
and I've, had one that said, write a full page, then one that said write 3 sentences, and then one that said, just ask if they have a talent roster, and, and then from there, I, will follow through, after a month or two, and sometimes I hear back, sometimes I don't, and
Hmm.
then I know that's just the way it is, but I keep thinking, am I saying it wrong? Because I don't have the best social skills.
Well, the beauty of email is that you get to refine those skills before you hit send. You do.
Mm.
You get to look and um, you get to evaluate and reevaluate before you send it. And
Well, yeah, I always do, but
yeah,
I
yeah,
never know.
yeah, no, and that is like it's a big piece of the thing. We never know. And um, so I feel like what would be really beneficial, and you may have done this, I don't know, but it would be really beneficial to get yourself into some kind of an accountability group, um, a small one, right? Where you can bring your, the email that you've composed, and you can bring it to people who have maybe more or less experience in that than what you do and say, what do you think? Right?
Yeah.
And and get feedback on it. And I think, Mary, too, there isn't anything perfect because one style of email is going to be attractive to one person and another is going to be attractive to another person. And so, I can give you all the advice in the world about what I would do, what I would say. And mine would be to be succinct and to the point and don't waste anybody's time, right? In terms of
Yeah.
don't make them read a page. They're not gonna read a page.
Yeah.
That's the truth. It's the rare person who's gonna read a page, right? And so I think being direct and kind and courteous, right, are sort of all the hallmarks of a good piece of communication. Um, and so I think you just have to be patient with yourself and the process. And I know you've been at it for a while, right? But
Mm-hmm.
um, but but I think the willingness to learn, what works and what doesn't, like is all it's like all that information that you have to put into the processing and go, okay, well, I can take that part out because that didn't work, so I'm not going to do that again, right? And perhaps this way of doing things will work, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a process for which you must be patient and have a curious mind, right? You must remain curious about it rather than the persistence of self-criticism about it, right?
Yeah.
It's difficult, but it's the battle every voice actor fights, you know, um, to 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 remain positive, to remain curious and willing to learn and try new things, and to get rid of the things that don't work, right? So it's all a big experiment. It's all a big experiment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people whose programs that one buys, right? We buy them to try them out, not necessarily because they are gospel, you know. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so um, so I feel like in the most practical way, if there is if you know a couple of people, if you can connect with a couple of people in Facebook groups with whom you can get together every once in a while, right? And just get some feedback on what it is that you are communicating and how you're saying it, right? I think is just some good um, practical stuff, right? And to also then really focus on production companies and to, as my pastor father said to me, in junior high, bloom where you're planted. I think that's a big thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Instead of setting our sights so far out of our reach, really, you know,
Yeah.
and 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 continuing to bang on doors that are closed. Like closed doors don't they're not an ultimate no. It's just a no that sends you in a different direction, right? But if you keep banging on the closed door, you're just going to get a sore hand or
Yeah.
forehead. Like,
Yeah, but like I know companies, like DreamWorks and Disney, they
no,
only go
no, those are
through.
not the companies that we're talking about. No,
Yeah, I
no.
know. Those are the dream companies.
Yeah, those are the ones that are connected to and related to agencies, to
Mm.
agencies like Atlas, right? But
Yeah,
I have a friend, a voice actor friend, Mike Praviti, who just
yeah, I
he
know
did some
Mike.
yeah he did some characters in a production that the Tuttle Twins. Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Oh yeah,
Right?
he told
And
me
then
he
I
told me
right
about that.
yeah, and then I see a clip, of his, and it's like Angel Studios. I'm like, Angel Studios does animation? Like, I didn't know that, right?
Yeah,
So like,
I did some work on the Chosen animated, so that's what they're
yeah,
working on right now. So
well,
I do know them.
yeah. So there you go. So by virtue of the fact that you know, that you've done work for them, you know where they are. That
Mm.
it's exactly that kind of thing, right? And um I can't even begin to tell you how many people in Los Angeles have who've been there, who are represented by Atlas and DPN and SBV and CESD, who still haven't gotten their foot in the door at DreamWorks and Disney and Nickelodeon, right? And
Mhm.
so, it, it is a beautiful dream and goal to have, but you got to take the steps in between, right?
Mhm.
If you want to be attractive to an agency like Atlas from Texas, you are going to have some work in your back pocket, right? And it's the kind of work that, that Mike did on that, right? Like it's that kind that says, here it is. Here are the animated characters that I did, right? To show what you can do, right?
Yeah.
So so I know that was a mouthful, but I really appreciate the question, and I know a lot of people are asking it too. So
Yeah. And Rebecca, I did buy Paul Schmidt's Avatar book. Yeah, I was
yeah,
actually telling Kate about that last time by
yeah,
email.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, Rebecca knows that one too.
yeah. Excellent. Okay, Mary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jay, how you doing in your car?
Oh, that's why I had the camera on my phone.
No, no,
Um,
you can have the camera on. I was just playing with you. So all good.
how you doing? So I'm in
I'm
this.
good.
So I want to know more about your the thing you just started. What
The
days it is?
membership group?
The membership group, because I'm in the so this is what I've done. I've sold my house like 4 days ago. I'm kind of
Oh,
living in hotels right now, which is great.
yeah.
I'm going over to Chicago, LA, whatever. I'm doing a promo like class with
Uh-huh.
a commercial class with head of the DPN. I mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't. My thing is a little different. I have agent representation. I just want to work. I um,
Oops, I'm losing you, honey.
upper my sword consistently.
Kind of.
Okay.
I'm so
What
sorry.
about
You
now? How's
you
that?
want that's better, I think.
Oh, is that better? Because
Yeah.
I'm in a weird. How about now? You let me know when you
I
can hear me.
okay.
Can
I
you hear
can
me?
hear you. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good. Uh, I have reps, but I just want to sharpen my sword.
Hmm.
Now that I had a 2,300 pound booth that I sold that to a friend, thankfully. So now I'm getting a tri booth. I've got a 416. I have the mic that changes in different mics, all that stuff. So it's not even that stuff. It's more for me. It's just more of I'm in this point where I have nothing to take care of other than myself for the first time in my life. So I want to
Uh-huh.
enjoy. I've had some success, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking your program will be good for me. And I just wanted to see when it because I think it's the first and third Wednesday of the month.
It's the second and fourth Wednesday of the month.
So it'll be this week,
Yes, tomorrow. Yeah.
tomorrow. Okay, okay,
Tomorrow,
okay.
Wednesday at this same time at noon Central. And the fourth Wednesday, um, Rebecca, have a great and safe trip. Yeah, very excited for you. Safe travels. Um, so on the fourth Wednesday of the month, it's in the evening
Okay.
at 7 p.m. Central. Yeah. So depending upon what your schedule is, a lot of people are working during the day, and so if they need to come in the evening, then the last one is right for them. You're welcome to come to both. So what the whole membership entails is two coaching sessions per month on those dates, right? The second and fourth Wednesday of the month. And then once a month we have kind of an interview and then a Q&A with a longtime working voiceover pro, people who have 20, 30, 40, 50 years of experience in the business. And that's actually really fun. I had thought about a while ago, I was thinking about doing a podcast again, another podcast, just kind of interviewing icons of voiceover. And then I thought, well, why don't I just include that in the membership?
Mhm.
And so that's actually I don't know. We've done one, but but it was really fun. So it was fun
Mhm.
for me anyway. But so that's what it is. It's three. it's 3 sessions a month, and it's at 2 working sessions a month. Right now, the membership is small.
Oh, good.
There are 9 members, and not everybody can show up, and so there's you know just a greater chance of actually getting on mic and working
And
as
so this
things
this
start to
being
build. Yeah.
being a I gotta go into a meeting in a few minutes, but
Okay.
um, I'm a little reverse. Whereas most people want to get the video game and the animation stuff.
Yeah.
I have had this thing where in my career, I was started off as a model and doing commercials.
Uh-huh.
I would slide by the voiceover booth, voiceover agent, and then one day they said, "Jay, you're black and you can talk, right? You're an actor, yes." And then I started doing that and started booking. And
Yeah.
then okay, so now I'm doing voiceover, and then once I realized how it's less work than on camera, I was like, I think I want to try to do this.
Yeah.
And then I started getting these video. I got listed with the LA agent, started sending me video game, and I'm like,
Uh-huh.
man, I really want to do that. I get the Marvel things, I really want to do it. And now I'm like, well, Jay, if you're getting these opportunities, you should want to do them.
Yeah.
So part of the thing I'm going to work on is the video game and the
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
And anyway, so yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely jump in. You'll see me tomorrow
Oh, okay, great.
because
I'll
I'm
tell
doing nothing
you,
else.
one of the keys about it is that you are encouraged to bring copy that you want to work on,
Hmm.
whether it's commercial or animation or video game or promo, narration pieces. If you don't have copy, I have copy. I have mostly commercial copy, but I do have a little bit of video game copy, although
I've got time.
it's mostly the stuff that I have worked on, so it's a bit geared toward females, but commercial is really the thing that I bring. But you're
Okay,
welcome to bring whatever it is that you're working on. You'll see when you sign up, there's sort of a whole thing that by signing up, we all agree that everything's under NDA and I don't record anything. Um, we don't exchange copy. No, nobody gets to use the copy for demo purposes or anything like that. So I'm super protective of everybody in that regard. Like we all got to maintain our NDA relationships here. And
yeah, I treat everything
so
that
that's
way. Yeah.
why it's like it's not recorded and you can't go back and listen and it's all that
Okay,
stuff. So
okay,
yeah, yeah.
excellent. This is
So
gonna be fun. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to it.
right on. Appreciate it so
You're
much.
awesome. You're awesome being. I just want to tell you that
Thank
you're
you
awesome.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
My family reunion is actually in Pigeon Forge, uh, Tennessee.
Your favorite what
This
is?
My family reunion
Oh, your
is
family reunion. Oh, awesome.
so I'll be there the third weekend in August. So
That is awesome. Well, welcome to Tennessee.
thank you, thank you.
All right, Jay.
All right, see you
Awesome.
guys.
Okay, ciao. Ciao.
Incredible, you're an amazing being.
Thank you. Let's see. I want to see where these chats went. Um, sorry, there. I'm going over here to the chat. John Gardner, are you still here? Rebecca. Yes, Paul Schmidt. Yep. Yeah. Jen Greenfield. You've probably read these, Mary. Learning how the
I
production companies
did.
hire is key anymore. Okay. A lot don't keep rosters. So okay. Um, Kristen Paiva. Yeah. Um, Billy Joe Cons. Okay. Do you know her?
I do know her on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I've seen many of her posts. I don't know how her accountability works, but I understand some of these groups, they have to charge a fee, or something like that. And there's only so much I can commit to.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the best is that you can do is ask, right?
Yeah.
And so, if they're accountability groups, I'm kind of doubting that there's a fee. Um, if it's a group that's led by someone, and led by, um, that's really where fees come in, right? Where,
Yeah.
yeah. So I would certainly reach out to her, and I would also reach out just on my own in any kind of voiceover group and just say, is there any one or two people who'd like to connect once a month? And, if you're working on communication with agents and production companies, can we help each other out here, and run stuff by each other? I think that's
Yeah.
totally worth your time. So,
And also, Jen, I just now saw and learning how production companies hire is key. maybe I didn't word it right. Again, I've taken like five different workshops. They've all say different things,
Hmm.
and I know there's no right or wrong way, but at the same time, no one told me that. So that's
Yeah.
what's frustrating is that, was I asking it wrong? Was I approaching it wrong? Because I'm trying to do research on my own. And then I'll get caught up in all the how overwhelming it is. This person says this person says that, this person says this person's been doing it for 20 years, this person's been doing it 10 years, the person doing it for 40 years. And my biggest fear is just getting blocked or blacklisted or thrown, in some spam thing. I know spam, does it always happen on purpose, but I used to contact toy designers, and I got blocked by two of them. I know because I got an email saying you are blocked. Yeah.
I know that that's hard to receive. That is a hard thing to receive. And those are those are not those companies are not meant for you, right? I mean, it
Mm.
eventually we have to, the things that are right for you will come to you, and the things that are not will not. And
Yeah.
and and it's a hard psychological hurdle to get over, right?
Mm.
Um, we don't need to work for everyone. We don't have to be attractive to everyone
Or friends with
or
everybody
friends with
there
everyone.
there are people in voiceover that don't like me. I don't, just because of a social media post or something like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And
part
that
part
and that's
yeah.
not, you know, and that's life. It's one of the strange things about social media is like all of a sudden we're interacting with hundreds, sometimes thousands of people that we would before internet life, we never would have even met.
Mhm.
We would never know. They would never be a part of our reality ever, you know?
Yeah.
And so all of a sudden, it's like it matters what somebody across the country who I've never met in person, it matters what they think of me, you know? And it's like learning to back out of that is to back out of the game of it is essential to one's mental health.
Yeah,
You know?
I like how Jen Henry kind of put it on me because she understands, she has a son who's on the spectrum as well.
Mhm.
And so she knows where I'm coming from, where I'm scared to say something or do anything because someone's going to take it out of context. And I was telling her, part of me scared of going to One Voice because there's going to be two people there that don't like me. And she's like, that is no damn excuse not to go. And I'm like, I know. I'm just
Yeah.
someone who wants to be peaceful to everybody. And I don't always come across that way on social media for some reason.
Well, again, I'm confident that every conference I go to, there are at least a handful, if not more, people who don't like me. Like, and I don't, I don't
I don't
even
see that
need
as
to
possible.
know.
You're
No,
so
it's possible.
fabulous.
It's possible, believe me. But I don't even need to know. No, that the only thing that I'm responsible for and have any control over is how I talk to people and how I treat people. And
Yeah.
and so even if I run across someone that I know I would never sit down with and have a meal, I still am kind, and I move
Mm-hmm.
on. It's
Yeah.
hello, how are you? Nice to see you. I hope you have a good weekend. And I'm
Yeah.
off. It's life. It's life. You don't have to be liked by everyone to have a career. You don't have to be accepted by every agency, every production company, um, every producer or director. You don't. I've been turned down by more agencies in the last 5 years, regional agencies, than I ever have. Like they're not interested, you know?
Hmm.
I've been dropped by agents and I still have a career, It's life. Not everybody is right for everybody else. And so I that's my hope for you, Mary, um is that you shift your focus from the people that you perceive as not liking you, and shift your focus to the people who are open to you and
Mm.
willing to help you, because they're the only people that matter.
Yeah.
They're the only people that matter, right? And shifting your focus from these extraordinarily lofty goals, of like signing with Atlas or signing with DPN or working for Disney, or right, and bring the goal closer to home, right, in more actionable, concrete steps close to home. And it is a process. It's a process. It's ongoing, and
Yeah.
it's I just I encourage you to do that. So,
Yeah,
um,
and just sometimes I need to hear it because, like I
yeah.
said,
Yep.
otherwise the voices in my head are like, you just suck at this. And even when surrounded by friends and family, I feel like I need to hear this from colleagues more because friends and family support you in what almost, true friends and family support you in whatever you do. But
Well, guess where you get support from your colleagues?
at conventions,
Yeah, that's where you cultivate friendships, you know,
yeah,
and you ultimately get the thing that you need, and you get to focus on that, right? You
mm,
get to develop, even if you just meet one person, right? Who
yeah.
who who you can say, ah, I now have a
Well,
tribe,
I will say this: are you going this year?
I am. I'm not
Uh,
teaching. I'm not doing anything.
I
Hanging out
I
in the
t-
lobby.
I tamed my oven so I can make macarons again.
Oh, fantastic. That's awesome. Well,
So
that's great.
Roy is pushing me hard to get to his barbecue to bring them.
Right on. There you
I'm gonna
go.
try,
See?
because
Look,
finances, but
you're getting
yeah,
invitations though. Are you like, pay
yeah,
attention, right?
yeah.
Right? It's there.
But yeah,
So
no, I was gonna say, many people were asking, "Are you gonna make macarons?" And I couldn't at my last place, but I finally tamed my new oven, so I
excellent.
figured out how to make them again.
Excellent. Well, I hope you'll save one for me.
I'll try.
Jen, how are you?
I'm doing fabulously. I'm so glad I got to join. I haven't talked to you or seen your
Yeah.
face in so long.
Been a while. I was very appreciative of your text a couple weeks
Mary,
ago.
I'm pretty sure, Kay, didn't you and I ultimately connect at a conference?
We did.
Isn't that where you and I really got to know each other? And
Yes.
Kay told me, she's like, I'm an introvert. I like to sit in the lobby or sit at the bar, sit in the restaurant area. And yeah, so and I'm not. So
Yeah,
I went to her.
I think we were I think we were both on the Hollywood Squares.
Oh, that's
And
right.
I
Game
feel
night.
like it came out of that. I feel like we were on it one year, but we still didn't connect that year, but then it
Yeah.
was the following year.
Yeah.
I feel like it was that.
Yeah.
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 So
Conferences have their place. I'm not going anymore, but they do. They definitely
they
served me
do.
well my first few years. So, and I
Yeah.
connect with you. But yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Mary, you spoke on a lot of things. What I can tell you too, what case is, you're not alone in that feeling of, I don't know if people like me, or just that insecurity and kind of, it's a funny thing, this industry. And Kay, I'd love to get your thoughts, because my husband thinks it's hilarious. He's like, I have never known an industry more, what's the word to look, I'm looking, like, not incestuous, but like everybody's in everybody's chili. Like everybody
Yeah.
is like, he's like, I know no other industry where I would say, hey, how much did you make on that job? Like, you would never ask that anywhere else. And to go, oh, well, if you're not doing this, then I mean, like, where you're being told what to do, and where everybody's just so in each other's business. It's hilarious. And then to go to conferences, he's like, he's a senior project manager. He's like, do you think I would go, I'm only friends with senior project managers and we just discuss? He's like, no.
No, yeah. It
He's
is.
like, it's so funny how, and then to be so heavily influenced. I think both, Kay, it's been fascinating to listen to you, and Mary, it's interesting. My point when I started this little dialogue was, you're not alone, because I also have a lot of folks who reach out to me and just, I don't know what's going on. Da, 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 da. So there's a lot of people who feel like you. But the part that I find interesting, and I push back some. I try to just be quiet on other topics, but it's so people who started 10, 20, 40, whatever years ago, and I'm talking about the marketing part. I mean, 2025 is an unknown beast that no one has any idea. No, and don't tell me you do, because you don't. Like, it is just good luck. Like, it is just completely different. And so even people who give, and I'm talking marketing specifically, advice from 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, post-pandemic, it's still like, it's just different. It's just
Yeah.
different. And Kay, you were spot on, where it's like, you've got to try different things and try to be compelling, be concise, but be compelling in your emails. But it's hard, and it's a, yep, one day at a time thing. But anyway, Katie, to where your first question, I'm good. I'm getting a lot more on camera commercial work.
Right on.
I just booked another nonfiction audiobook last week, which suits me. Like,
Yeah.
I fall into corporate narration, very anything really more storytelling,
Hmm.
narrative,
Hmm.
longer form. I really enjoy that. And I only do nonfiction if I'm going to do audiobooks. I'm like, I want to speak as the author. I don't want to have to keep track of voices. I don't have time for that, but I
Yeah.
can do nonfiction pretty quickly and efficiently. So I've got that. And yeah, so just for me, because I'm not a one lane kind of person, I know, so I'm enjoying trying just all the different things. I shot a short film last Saturday, which the director feels very confident it's going to go to Cannes. So I'm like, well, I guess I got to go to France next year to go
Poor thing.
go. Why? I don't know. Yeah, I was like, why not? It could be my only chance. Who knows? But um, anyway, and then I've got again, just kind of learning, married, getting, and this is on camera, but it still applies in voiceover, getting to know agents, sure, getting to know producers, sure, but also getting to know casting directors. So I got a by name request. That's what we say in the military, by name request. I don't know what you would say in our world, but from a casting director to audition for, it would be my highest paying commercial role that I've gotten to this point. And she asked for that on Friday. So no, Thursday, because Friday was July 4th. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm doing all the things, like just trying to just create and branch. And I've really the other thing I would you talk about social media, Mary, and I know it's challenging, but again, I love LinkedIn. And what I've really done is curated my feed to
Yeah.
not be about voiceover, to not be about voice actors, to not be about those agents. It's more about connecting with filmmakers. I want to do documentary. That's one of the things I'm working on. I did a documentary demo with Susan Palio at Voice Tracks
Oh,
West.
great. Love her.
And yeah, and so again, because I just like that longer form narration.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
getting into something like that, but connecting, not necessarily like emailing all of them, but just connecting with them. So what are they talking about? What's relevant? There's a guy named Lance Kistler. Do you know him, Kay? Mary knows who he is. So, for example, like just this morning, he made a post talking about hearing through the grapevine that casting directors were taking a cut
Yeah.
of jobs. Anyway, my point is, so like that would be someone to connect with, and then I'm going to see his content, and I'm going to engage with it, and like find different ways to learn about what's going on, and the companies you want to work with. Like you don't need to be making posts. You could just be present, just being like, hey, Mary is constantly, she comments on things, and it doesn't have to be about you trying to put information out. It could be more about us as voice actors connecting with the companies we want to work with, find out who their creative agencies are, and just being present, that way. And it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit, where you go, I
Yeah.
don't know what to say and I don't want to offend anyone. Okay, just comment on what they're already posting,
Yeah. I feel like you bring to the fore a really good point because all of this is relational, and what's it like? What would it be like for each of us, if somebody, if I mean, it's different. It's different for me because while I coach, I don't cast, and so there's nothing. I can't do anything for anyone except, give them some coaching. But can you imagine if you had something that someone wanted and people were coming up to you like, I need to tell you about myself. I do this and I do that, and I need you to know who I am. I, I mean, I'd be like, okay, nice to meet you. You know, Whereas if someone came up to me and made conversation with me and was interested in me, not in some pushy, manipulative way, but was like, if it's like, oh, I mean, it may be that I don't even know the person, but we're in a particular setting where a vibe is going on, and I walk up to them and I'm like, whoa, crazy, crazy meeting here today, isn't it? It's like, and you're just present. And then also you're curious about them. I think it's with any relationship, even if I'm dating, you know, like I I am curious about the person, and I hope that they're curious about me. And it isn't so much let me show you who I am. Let me reveal all the things I can do and everything I can offer you and everything I can, right? It it smacks of desperation and self-centeredness, right? As opposed to, and I think by virtue of someone's inquisitiveness about me and mine about them, we reveal ourselves to each other. If I'm asking questions of this person that I want to get to know, I reveal myself as someone who cares about other people. Someone who's not so concerned about, how I'm presenting per se, but that I'm curious, and I think so in every relationship, whether it's an agent relationship, a personal relationship, um, the communing is what's key. The recognition that casting directors, agents, um, writers, directors, they're people and they have lives and they have families and they have, and obviously it's not like we're jumping in and delving into the life of somebody that we have just met, right? But we just have to remember that I think it would be, if I try to put myself in their shoes, I think it would be overwhelming, to have someone kind of like, I need to get to know you because I want to do this and I know that I can do it and I have confidence in myself that I can do it and I just need a chance, you know? And those things come later. It's people want to work with um people who are easy to work with, you know? Um and so I'm struck by that even in the way that we approach people online. So you're right. It's like here you are interested in documentaries. So you're not looking for voiceover people and you're not looking for casting directors. You're not doing that. You're looking for the people who are doing the work that you want to do, who are doing another part of the work that you want to do. And then you're watching. And I mean, your example is perfect. So he's like talking about a thing, which is something that a little bit about and can participate in the conversation. And those are, man, that's a daily thing. It's a daily discipline to go and look and it's tempting everybody who's listening, it's tempting to fall into um what we're accustomed it's tempting to want to go, well, I'll just go see what the voice actors are saying and what are they doing, because and then we end up like, oh my God, that person just posted a great job that they did, and then you start to feel shitty about yourself, and and then it starts to take you down. Or, oh, that person has a relationship with that person. Oh, they read for that audition. I didn't get that audition. And it just starts this whole cycle, and it's like it's none of our business. And in that way, Jen, your husband is right. It's like, it's none of our business. All of this stuff, like it is a weird thing that we talk about rates and we talk about, you know, we are all up in each other's business. It's crazy making. And yet I, um, it, so much of the business feels so manipulated and manipulative and really about, and I just feel like it's a part of the entertainment industry. It's a part of like, who are the stars, and I want to be one of the stars. And because if I'm a star, people will take me seriously if I'm ever present, and then I'm an expert, when really no, you're an expert for your own experiences, but you're not an expert in anybody else's experience, because we're all approaching this from our own vantage point in our own state, in our own city, with our own microphones, and, and our own pocketbooks, and things we can afford and we can't, other things we can't afford. And, but it, it's a little crazy making. And that's why I think too, Mary, this isn't just for you, it's for all of us. We have to be, we have to guard our hearts, and we have to protect ourselves from that kind of infiltration, that's insidious and destructive. And we have to keep our eyes on what we can do where we are, and keep a curious and open mind. And when something doesn't work, we move on to the next thing we're going to try, and it's like all of life, um, and not allow ourselves to become derailed by other people's successes, other people's pocketbooks, other people's blathering about what they make and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. And, I know so many more voice actors who are not even on social media. They don't have websites. They're on rosters. They're on their agent's roster. They have their own relationships with the people that they work with. They cultivate those relationships. And people who've never been to a conference and don't want to go to conferences, you
That's what I
know?
was going to say, Kay. I love when I'm talking to someone and I drop a name who the collective we, in our small little corner, the one voice corner or and I drop a name that we think of someone who is of importance, and they go, who? And I just love that. I'm just like, you're
Yeah.
so not part of this like little culty clan little corner of the
Yeah.
voiceover industry.
Yeah.
There's hugely successful people that have never heard of you nailed it. And
Yeah.
we just put so much I call pedestalizing. We put
Yeah.
people on all these pedestals, or put ideas or marketing techniques or business techniques, and we just go, oh, that's how you should do it. Oh, this is how I should do social media. Just everything you're saying is so
Yeah.
on point.
It becomes, y- y- you know, the intention of um the intention of conferences, and awards shows, is to be of support, and to applaud and support our own, right? I mean, that's really what it is. And then but it very quickly turns into, you must do this and you must do it this way. And you aren't you're not viable if you don't. When really it's like, no, you don't have to. Everything's a suggestion. you know, and to keep that in mind, right? Like it's as to how you get an agent, when you get an agent, what how you communicate with agents. The only thing again that I say about that is remember that it's relational. But every agent is different too. Like there are some agents that I've had where, you know, they're fine to hear from you and they they respond quickly and others are like, could you make it shorter? You know, like I don't have time to respond, and it feels like, oh God, they're mad at me when it's like, no, they're just busy, And so you have to again, you just have to remember that all we're doing here in this business is relating to and talking to other people who are other, cogs in the wheel, right? And we're all working together to make a thing. And so, yeah, you can't get too caught up in um in this idea that you must go, to conferences, or you must study with this person or that person, or you must be represented by this or that agent in order to name the thing. Um, it's just not true. Everybody's path is personal and different. And and man, if there was anything that I could convey consistently and constantly, it would be that, and to just shoulder to the wheel and keep at it and really be curious about it. I swear, curiosity is the thing, right? And again, Jen, the thing that you bring up about who is this person? What do they do? That's all curiosity at play, right? You're just looking to see who they are, you know? And you already know what they do because you've sought them out in that regard. Oh, this person works in documentary filmmaking. That's somebody I should get to know, and it's kind of as simple as that. And if you don't know what to say, don't say anything. Just observe. Observation is huge. We all talk too much, and I am at the top of that heap. Like I'm just like I yammer a lot about stuff, but there's so much wisdom in just like if you don't have anything to say, it's perfectly fine. If whether on social media or what have you, it's like speak when you're moved to do so, when you feel like you have something to contribute. So yeah, it's relational, 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 and there's no one path. So I'm going to check in with all these fabulous people who are. Well, I guess it's John. I had a couple more folks in here, but I guess they needed to go. So John, I'm just checking with you to make sure that you don't have a question or any such thing. If you're there, I know you're at work, and so okay. I'm good, he says. Okay, good. I'm glad you're here.
What have you been doing, Kay? What are you doing to stay? How's the cow? Didn't you buy a cow?
Oh, it's eaten.
Oh, the cow is gone. The cow is
Yes,
no
no.
more.
It's just like a quarter of a cow. I didn't buy an actual cow.
Okay.
I actually bought an eighth of a cow, but that was like 2 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Been a hot. No, believe me, time's flying so fast. I'm good. Work is terribly, terribly slow. Um, you know, uh, I'm I'm one of those people where when I'm busy, I'm really on top of things, and when things are slow, everything falls by the wayside, including, like my focus and attention on auditions. Like I'll look at stuff and go, "Oh crap, that was due yesterday." So I'm kind of I'm working on my routine so that I figure out a routine. There are these, I move so slowly in the morning, but I'm trying to shift myself to being more of a morning person and to go to bed earlier. But I'm a doom scroller at night. It's like I gotta like put the phone in the other room. I gotta. So so I'm working on those things, right? Like, and trying to prioritize. Um, I tend to be better at turning in auditions in the morning. if I get up, because they're not where I live, they're not, most of them are not due until 9 a.m. Sorry, 11 a.m. my time, right? So that can provide for a nice leisurely morning for me, you know. Um, and I'm trying to get in, a walk. Ideally a sunrise walk, but I'm a little a ways from that. I do get up and sit in front of a red light for my faux sunrise. But that's my sort of quiet meditation prayer time in the morning, which I'm really coming to love. And then I'm always late to think about my dog. It's like, oh right, I have to take you out. Oh right, I got to take you for a walk. Oh right, I can't open the windows because you'll bark at everything. So I got to close the shutters. Oh right, you're hungry. Okay, right. I mean, it's just like, and then I'll get up into something that I'm doing and it's like, oh, you have to go out again, do you? I mean, like, I should not have a dog. It's terrible, but God
And
love her.
thank goodness your kid is grown. So
Well, she's going off to college in a month. And
wow.
that's a whole nother thing. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't handle it. Like, there's so much going on there, but she and her dad are going to Canada to see his family and friends up there for in a week. And
Where's
so
she going to school?
she's going to Lipscomb University in
Never heard of it.
Nashville, which
Okay.
is a small private Christian college.
All right.
And she's majoring in uh, animation design,
Oh, stop.
cinematic arts, animation design.
Yeah.
And she's moving into the dorms. And, you know, she has pretty severe dyslexia and ADHD. And she's, not an organized person, gets easily overwhelmed, like hasn't been in a classroom since seventh grade.
Oh, did she do all online?
No, well, was it sixth grade? No, since sixth grade. Six, seven, eight. Yeah. Um, yeah. After sixth grade, I brought her home to homeschool.
Oh, you homeschooled. I got
Yeah,
you.
I did. And then it was like, wow, I don't know how to teach her with dyslexia, right?
Yeah.
It's not, it's like, I couldn't just do what I knew, So ultimately, we ended up hiring this tutoring company
Hmm.
and using her college funds because we thought she'll never go to college.
Yeah.
Right? So we used her college funds for tutoring. So she essentially had one-on-one high school for 3 years.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of that was online. It was in person for a while, and then it was online because of COVID. And then while it was online, we moved to Nashville, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't mean to
Well,
go
it
into all of
sounds,
this.
yeah, well, it
Well,
sounds like a smaller school. This sounds like that's going to be a great segue
I
for
think
after you
so.
take you in something different.
Yes. And they have a really great program that's in addition to tuition, room and board that she's a part of, which will help guide her and has all kinds of resources for her. So I'm just like, I just I want her to launch and to thrive.
Yeah.
And so it's a little nerve-wracking, right? I mean, thank God it's not that far. It's 20 miles. And
Okay.
so it's far enough. Like, and, she's like, what if I want to come home for the weekend? And her dad's like, no, you don't
Yep.
get to
Start living.
start living.
Well, you're just ahead of me, so I'm going to have a sophomore and a junior.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I had to think. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Yeah. So you're just ahead of me. So I'll be
Yeah.
tapping into you for.
Yeah. Well, my daughter is 22.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So she uh she repeated third grade, right? So she
Mhm.
graduated high school at 19.
Okay.
But then she took 2 years and has been working part-time.
Good for her.
And then it was like we applied last fall and then so that year of, kind of preparation for
But you know what? I
for this
actually think
fall.
this comes full circle in our conversation with Mary because I've told Eleanor this too. I'm like, whoever said, I mean, can you imagine? I don't know. Did you go to college, Kay?
Oh, yes. I didn't graduate, but I did.
Okay, but even still, and you know what? I bet part of it is this idea that when you graduate, you're supposed to go to college.
Right.
This have to, this like
Just have
path that
to.
they say you have to do. And I'm going, if I had had any idea, like I would have approached, I did. I've got 2 degrees, I have a master's degree, but was I really learning when I left at 18 from high school and then jump, was I really prepared? Did I change major? It's like imagine having the freedom, your parent or society or whatever to say, you know what, if you want to go work for a few years and like get your mind on straight and like where you want to learn and you don't feel like you
Yeah.
have to learn, like what a difference that would make. And then some people may realize I never wanted to go to college. Like, I don't need it. I don't want it. I can save the money. I can
Yeah,
advance with certifications or advance just with job experience. And like, what
totally.
a different place that would put us
Oh,
if,
yeah. Yeah.
anyway.
I didn't go to college straight away.
Okay. Okay. I did.
I worked for a year and then, I went 2 years to USC and studied theater. And then a decade later, when I was 30, I went uh, and did all my lower division stuff at a
Yeah.
community college, then transferred to UCLA and studied philosophy.
Nice.
And so I was interested. By the time I was 30, it was like, oh,
Right.
wow, I am a good student. Oh,
You
wow, I
have the
am good at
capacity
math.
to learn. That's
Like,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
who knew that I could, that I would
Yep.
like symbolic logic?
Yeah.
What? Like
Yeah.
I would not have loved that at age 18. So yeah,
Exactly. So
no,
I
it's
think it's
true.
funny. Yeah, kind of this forced path we just
Yeah,
feel compelled to take. And it's the same, just ties in with what we're talking about in the industry. You
totally.
must do this and find the agents and do the demo and blah, 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 and psh,
Yeah,
you're
and I think you have to take everybody's advice with a grain of salt. All it is, it's their experience that they're sharing with you. It's not the gospel.
yep.
And then you find your way in that. You take what works for you and you leave the rest.
Love it.
So,
Love it.
all right, I'm going to let everybody go. But thank you so much for a wonderful and lively conversation.